Hi everyone, Rebecca here for Gogo Getaway. Today this is the Virtual Dayaway event. This is the To the Next Level virtual event, and this is the Altered Art class. The concept behind this class is to alter a cut file. So for level 1 we'll be altering it, and then for level 2 we'll be adding even more alteration. So there's 2 levels of altering to the cut file. So I'm starting off by inking at the top of the cut file using the saltwater taffy. And next I'm going to be trimming the blue gingham paper, that is the picnic basket paper from the Jen Hadfield Live and Let Grow collection. And I'm going to be trimming that to 11 by 8 inches. I'm now going to fold the very edge of that blue gingham picnic basket paper just onto the side of my ruler to get a lifted up ridge, almost like a folded effect. In actual fact, it's going to look like I've sewed my gingham paper onto my white background paper, but I haven't. So if you don't have a sewing machine, this is a good effect to use. So it's just folding the very edge of the paper onto the edge of your ruler. And now I'm going to go around and distress all of that edge using my paper distressing tool. So I've printed my photos and I'm trying to decide which of my photos to use. I printed 4 and I end up using 3 after I've finished with the level 2 of the layout. So now I'm just adhering down the blue gingham picnic basket paper onto the white cardstock background. The next set of instructions apply to the level 1 part of the layout rather than the level 2. This is specifically for the level 1. So for level 1, I'm going to back all of the letters in this beautiful floral treetops paper. This is also from the Jen Hadfield Live and Let Grow collection. I'm just going to mark in glue on the back of my cut file and then stick it down, and all of the letters will be filled with that pattern paper. This is how I tend to back cut files. I'll tend to stick them down and then fussy cut around it, so that the pattern within the cut file flows all in the same direction. So during this level 1, it does look as if I do things in a strange order or in a strange way, and that is because I had to be able to take the layout apart again to be able to complete level 2. So if it does look I'm doing things in a peculiar way, please forgive that. So at this phase in level 1, you would be adhering down your cut file. I'm just placing it down with some 3D pads just to give the effect that it's stuck down, but level 1 it would be stuck down, and I'm going to start placing my photos. I'm also going to fussy cut some of the florals from the treetops paper. And now is the time to start embellishing and sticking down those embellishments. Again, it will look like I'm doing it in a strange way, just because I had to be able to lift those things back up again, or some of them. So I'm creating a cluster up at the top, and that cluster will remain unchanged both in level 1 and level 2. So that is for both levels. And coming up is a photograph of the finished layout for level 1. You can see that we've altered the cut file by adding ink and backing the letters. So moving on now onto level 2, and we're going to continue to alter the cut file. And what we're going to do is to add 6 different techniques to the words, to the word wander, to the different letters in the word wander. So I've used the white letter W that was left over from my cut file as a template, and I'm using that to cut a W shape from the floral treetops paper. I'm also then going to distress the edges and add some foam pads to the back of that to give it a lifted effect. Next, I'm inking up the letter A with some of the saltwater taffy, and then I'm going to add some black stamping on top of that using the stamp sets that comes in the kit. It's just the words "Oh Happy Day," and I'm going to stamp that repeatedly with black ink. And moving on to the next letter, again, I'm going to ink up the letter N. I want some background colour behind my thread. And now I'm going to add some of the peach coloured thread all the way around the letter N, so it's wrapped completely in that pinky coloured thread. And it matches the saltwater taffy perfectly. That's the finished effect. So to alter the letter D, we're going to use the D that came from the cut file as a template to cut a D shape from a photograph. You're going to want a really small detail that will fit within that D frame. So I've just picked a picture where my subject is off in the distance so that I can fit it in that D shape. And next, again, I'm using the leftover E from the cut file as a template to cut another another letter from the pattern paper. I'm then going to pierce some stitching holes on that letter. I'm just using a cork sheet and a needle. I'm going to then add some chain stitching to that E as some extra detail. Okay, so I haven't forgotten about the letter R, but as I mentioned, I have to do things in a strange order, sort of completing almost two layouts with the same products. So I'm going to start adhering things down, or sort of planning where things are going to go. But I've decided to add some of the saltwater taffy ink underneath the cut file, which is another way to sort of alter the effect that you're getting with your cut file on your page. It kind of adds just a little glow around the side of your cut file. And I'm adding extra detail to make it look like this background paper, the blue gingham picnic basket paper, was machine stitched onto that white background just by adding some faux stitching with my white jelly roll pen. So I'm going to start putting some of my altered letters into my cut file, and they should fit perfectly if I've used the leftover parts from the cut file as templates, so everything should fit really well. Okay, so I'm coming up to creating my letter R. Now obviously I've had to back this cut file for level 1, so I've had to take that backing out because I'm making a little shaker pocket using the vellum and filling it with some sequins. So I'm just creating that shaker pocket now. There's my vellum going on, and then I'm going to add some of the foam pads to sort of keep my sequins enclosed in my little shaker. And you can just about see those sequins through the vellum. It's very subtle, just a little bit of a glint of that shimmer from these sequins. And I'm keeping those sequins enclosed with just a tiny little scrap of white cardstock just to keep them all sealed with the letter R. There we go, that is the finished layout for level 2. Some close-ups coming now.